Props, Jacob, for getting up here and talking about our club. Pretty demoralized, not going to lie. And it's mostly because of our fans. And look, support, I'm going to tell you right now, I agree with you 100%. Did I want to do this stream today? No. Did I want to get up here and have to tell people why I still believe in Ange Postecoglou, why I think it's an overreaction by people who want to see his head roll? No, I didn't. Because, again, I don't like to tell people how to feel. And I hate fucking losing. And I hate Arsenal winning. You combine those two and you get a conglomerate of big fuck you to Jacob. And a lot of other people feel the same way. And a lot of other people feel differently. But here's the thing. Ange Postecoglou is not the problem. I've always defended the fans and said it's not the fans' fault either. But I'm getting to this point where I kind of feel like, you know what? Spurs fans seem to want to just chase their tail in purgatory forever. And like Perchy said, maybe I got to accept it and just get on with it, because this constant Poch out, Jose out, Nuno out, I agreed with. Conte out. All those except Nuno, I agreed with. Or excuse me, reverse that. I disagree with everyone who wanted all those managers out, because I knew what those managers were trying to do and what those managers were and still are capable of. Antonio Conte is number one in the Serie A right now with Napoli for a reason. They finished 10th last year in the Serie A, and right now they're top of the table. It is early doors, granted, but he got a couple of pieces that he wanted. He stood firm on his business, but I think there's a lot of things that can be true at the same time. Now, I keep this clip because it used to be funny to me, but it still rings true to this day.
Be involved in this situation, because it's time to change the situation if Tottenham wants to change. If they want to continue in this way, they can change manager, a lot of manager, but the situation cannot change, believe me. Thank you very much.
You can change the manager, but you cannot change the Tottenham unless the Tottenham want to change the Tottenham. You understand? So we cut off Ange's head, and guess what? We're fucking right back at square one, trying to build a fucking philosophy with some manager. And to me, it really grinds my gears. How many times must we make the bed and then you fuck the bed? And then we make the bed, then you fuck the bed. Eventually, I'm going to stop caring whether that bed is made or not, because it's driving me crazy as a Spurs fan to see all this Ange out, Poch out, Jose out. It's just like, when. Conte was right about Tottenham and the fans. We just want to chop and change and give me my passy. And then you get your passy. Oh, now I want the titty. Oh, now you get your titty. And then now, oh, let me get my passy again, because the titty wasn't actually as good as the passy. And then you get the passy. You're like, you know what, the passy, let's try something else. Let me get the chewing toy. Oh, now you get the chewing toy. Well, guess what? The chewing toy doesn't work now. And everything just doesn't fucking work. And you know who does all that? A baby. My babies that I'm blessed with. Okay, try this. Okay, try this. And then when none of it works, I just say, you know what? They're a baby. And I just got to accept that they're going to win. And that's literally how I feel about Tottenham fans. Because as much as I was pissed off and Ange upset me yesterday, and I do hold him to the fire on things, like starting Brennan Johnson. Why the fuck are we starting Brennan Johnson again? I don't care if the North London Derby's too big of a pool to throw the young man Odebert in, Mikey Moore, something like that. We've all seen what happens with Brennan Johnson out there. Now, it's also true that he doesn't deserve to be abused to the point where he deactivates his Instagram. That's disgusting. You can be upset with a player and still be like, I hope you live a successful life and enjoy yourself in life, but you are just not good enough for my club. Like, that can be true as well. And I just feel like we're at a point now, because things haven't been great. Last season, they weren't great, but they exclude the times that were great. And I'm not saying that we're going to ever get back to that 10 matches undefeated where we look immaculate on all sides of the ball, because our philosophy, there is a game plan. Like, there's things that is truthful in the arguments against Ange Postecoglou and his tactics that I agree with and some that I don't. But You cannot blame Ange Postecoglou for Romero being pushed in the back and then within 2 seconds of that happening, him getting scored on and then looking at the refs for a fucking saving him. I've said it many different ways and I don't know the best way to say it, but I'm pissed off at Romero. I'll tell you right now, I got his shirt up because I support him and I think that he still is a great fucking player, but he got fucking dunked on and that is on him. Ange didn't say, hey, if you get pushed in the back, look for the ref with your arms up. That'll help. Now, there's a clip that I got from someone who shot it at the stadium. I saw it on Twitter, and it's literally, like, I try to go frame by frame, and it's like 1-2 seconds where Romero, after he's pushed in the back, and he comes down, it's like 1.5 seconds, and then Gabriel's going boink with the ball. Now, that 1.5 seconds, he's looking, it looks like to me, he's looking for the ref. That is fucking weak. That is shit. And to me, that is on Romero. That's not Ange telling him to do that. Another thing that Ange isn't telling players to do, I don't believe that Ange Postecoglou has told Son, take one legitimate shot in 180 minutes of football. One. I don't know why Son fucking doesn't shoot anymore. But when I went through all the 20 shots of Newcastle, and then I went through and I looked at the shots, and we could do it again today because this is what today is about, ladies and gentlemen. We got to look at the poo-poo, and we got to clean the poo-poo, and we have to, realize how do we not get poo-poo on the floor again. But when I look at the shots, let me share this with you. Look at these. One shot. Okay, so he had 2 shots in 180 minutes. Kulu, Solanke, Brennan, Solanke, Van de Veen, Brennan, Sarr, Romero, Kulu, Odeber, then Son. So 2 shots in 180 minutes. Oh, y'all can't even see that down there. Sorry. I was cycling through it right here, if you don't believe me. So this is all our chances. And the very last one is Son. And to me, he is our most lethal player. The thing that Son can do now, no one can dispute. You can talk about his dribbling ability, which I'm questionable at this point. You could talk about his passing ability. You can talk about his pace. All that's fine. But one thing that everyone will be pretty much agreeing on is he is a fucking fantastic finisher. People don't want to call him world class, but they'll say he's a world class finisher. Now, I'm okay with that because I agree. He is a world class finisher. But he should not be the only dude. Why is it Kulu, Son? All these motherfuckers shooting it that aren't as good as Son. Papa Matasar comes onto the pitch, has a shot within a minute. Last year, Højbjerg comes onto the pitch, 20 seconds later has a crack at goal. So Ange is not saying don't fucking shoot it from distance. Brendan Johnson even said something last year to the effect of he's encouraging us to, when we get space, shoot it from distance. So I don't know why Son is fucking passing the ball all the time. During my watch along, there were several times that I remember cognitively saying, please just shoot it, Son. Fuck everybody, just shoot it. And he doesn't. Newcastle, same thing. Every game this year, same thing. Last year it was happening a lot as well. My questions right now in that regard is why is Son sharing the sugar when, goddammit, I need some in my coffee and I ain't got none at the house because you gave it to everybody. He has one shot at the fucking death of the game. Bro, I need you to lift me up the entirety of the game. Shoot, Son, shoot. You're my favorite player. I'll hold you to a standard in which you have been not meeting, that I've been excusing. I still believe he can get there. Just like my belief in Ange Postecoglou is still there, that he can get us to the team that I want us to be, that other people want us to be, that other people may be falling out with Ange at this point, and rightfully so in their own right. I disagree, but they're allowed to feel however the fuck they want to feel. I'd never tell no motherfucker how to feel. But what I do know is that Ange is setting us up to create all these chances that all these motherfuckers right here are missing. I'm going to take down this comment so y'all can see it better. Right below my head. All these people, as I cycle through these chances, one of them is Son. And that's what bugs me. But I look at all these games and I look at all these chances that all these bozos are taking and not converting. And I say, well, how is Ange setting us up in a point in which he's trying to not fucking... Again, if we are 15% to 25% effective on our chances, we win versus Newcastle, we win versus Arsenal, why are we not doing it? It's because, in my opinion, the best finishers are not trying to fucking have a go. It needs to be Son. It needs to be Solanke. It needs to be Madison. And Madison is a whole different boogie that we can get into. But right now, in regards to Ange, this is Arsenal. All these chances. Arsenal, clear, they're chances. They say we didn't get in their box. Fucking 75% of these are in their box. We're shooting it at the keeper, missing it, skying it, fucking it, fucking it, fucking it. Just fucking it. That ineffectiveness, that little minute difference right there is wins and losses. Who knows? We may get into a point next season where Spurs fans are now twerking for someone else to beat our ass. Because, oh, we want to stop so-and-so from doing such and such. And to me, we take care of our fucking business. We don't got to twerk for no other fucking club. Because that ain't how I ride. I'm a loyal motherfucker. You can ask my wife. You can ask my friends. You can ask anybody I give a fuck about. So to me, this problem we are having at Tottenham is not on Ange Postecoglou. I will full screen myself and repeat it. This problem we are having at Tottenham Hotspur is not on Ange Postecoglou. I am telling you 100% in my belief that it is not on Ange. Systematically, it is on the club. In execution, it is on the players. The tactics are not failing. Ange is not naive. Ange is not a fool. Ange has been fucking paid to do this for a reason. If he was a shitty chef, they would have stopped eating his food everywhere he went instead of promoting him to better and better restaurants. And now he's at the most prestigious restaurant and his fucking cooking methods work. Just because the restaurant's failing us in different departments, because the waiter's getting his fucking hair in it. You've got a bearded bartender dropping his pubic fucking face hairs in the drink. Now it's, oh, that's Ange's fault. Now, I do blame him for things. The fact that he allows Ryan Mason on the training pitch is a crime. But that's also on the club. Jose had to put up with it. Conte had to put up with it. Conte said, I don't want to put up with it. And then we signed Nuno, who said, I will put up with it. And then a few months later, Conte said, you know what? I will put up with it. Give me Ryan Mason. And this guy's on the pitch, and he's telling Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, and everybody else, when you get that ball, don't even fucking look. Just swing it in the box. I would say, in my amateur opinion, maybe just a little glance, a little whoo-hoo, or maybe someone yells so I don't have to look up. I don't know. So when I see Brennan Johnson blindly swinging things into the box, I'm like, well, that is on Ange because he's allowing Ryan Mason to say that shit on the pitch. As a clip that was released to all of us, we all seen it. But back to Ange Postecoglou specifically. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why I put it in the thumbnail. Make it make sense. I should have put please. There wasn't enough room. But please, make it make sense that we think we could go from one style of football to another style of football to operating a certain way as a club to minutely changing that way, albeit however wrong or right that is. The club, we all know how they operate. So when people say Timo Werner's on Ange, that ain't on Ange. But if you do want to say it's on Ange, then you got to hold Jed Spence, Richarlison, Fraser Forster, and you got to put that on Antonio Conte, a world-class manager. Same thing for Jose Mourinho. You got to put Joe Rodon, Gedson Fernandez, and the likes. I could keep on fucking going. Serge Aurier, Emerson Royale. Look, I don't think any of these managers that we've employed in the last few years asked for any of that. Brian Hill? No one asked for Brian Hill. So when the club continues to do something that it's always done, and I still see it being done to somebody else, and they say, oh, it's his fault, he accepted it. Well, yeah. You get offered the best job that you've gotten to this point in your lifetime. You feel like the amalgamation of all your hard work is finally paying off. And you say, I just got to do what I've been doing, but now on the biggest stage. And that's what he's trying to do. And I've always said the growing pains are going to be painful. These L's are going to fucking hurt. And I'm still pissed off about yesterday. But I think I'm more pissed off now about the fans' reaction to yesterday, the match before. I feel like the short-sightedness from the fan base It's really uncalled for. Again, diagnose the problem. Don't diagnose a symptom of it. Ange Postecoglou struggling at Tottenham Hotspur is a symptom of it. He's not perfect. There are things that he gets wrong. I'm not deluded enough to think that he's some, knight in shining armor. He's a fucking man. And what do I know about men? They're stupid and they make mistakes a lot of times in their life. But all these other attributions they give to Ange Postecoglou, I just don't agree with, not in the slightest. People say all type of things about Ange Postecoglou, and they're right to do so. Yeah, just like I'm right to voice my opinion and share things, as are they, because it's how they see things. But for me, I think it's an overreaction. Ainge out. I was on the football terrace yesterday. Shout out Henry Wright TV, Henry Talks Football, to both them channels. I thought he had a gross overreaction. Now I was fucking pissed off too. So I understood and I felt a lot of his frustrations. But I just felt like the reaction was kind of crazy. And then it all became like, now Mickey Van de Veen's going to get hurt because his hamstrings are going to go. It's just, again, when negativity and a negative thing happens, it's like a stone falling off a snowy fucking mountain. And eventually you get a big ass fucking snowball. And then you start talking about Mickey Van de Veen got glass hamstrings and Romero's twerking for Real Madrid and Son's an old man who can't run anymore and he's not a professional. Again, it just starts piling up and it reaffirms all those negative things that you think or that cross your mind. Because it crosses my mind with Son. What's going on? Why is he not shooting? But I don't think he's a washed athlete. Last year, they said he had no pace, and I seen him burning folks. This year, I ain't seen it. So maybe they're right now. Maybe they're wrong now. Who knows? I fucking don't. But anyone saying, oh, this is the absolute, this is the finale, I don't buy into none of that shit. You can't convince me to buy your pamphlet. I'm sorry. But people who want to always be right will tell you that they're always right. And I'll always tell you, I don't give a fuck what you think. You can agree with me and disagree with me. Just be cool, dude. And we all good. That's all it is. I just think the reaction was kind of crazy from Henry. Now I get like the heat of the battle's like, you just came off it and you're fucking feeling some type of way. But like, what is it? Throw the baby out with the bathwater? Toys out of the pram? What other UK slang y'all got? I don't know. But there's a certain thing that I have lived by, and I've said it a few times on the channel here. And it's a little thing called attitude. Life, and I'm looking at the camera while I say this, because this is serious business now. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% on how you react to it. And I've lived by that since I was a teenager. Shout out my stepdad. He's the one who instilled that in me because I was a shithead with a shit attitude. And he taught me not everything is as bad as you make it. You're allowed to make it a certain way. Like, you can't change things that happen to you. You can't change you get struck by lightning. You can't change you get hacked, all your shit go bye-bye. But what you can change is how you respond to it, therefore changing the repercussions of such. So for me, 10% of what happened to me yesterday was losing that fucking game. And percentage of me is still pissed off about it. But there's still a percentage of me that understands where we are at. I think people want us to be something we are not, whilst tearing us down at the same time. When it's something good for Tottenham, we're not Real Madrid, we're not Barcelona, we're not Bayern City, Liverpool, we're not these guys. We're this, we're down here. And then when we do shit that resemble us being down here, like below Arsenal on a talent level, on a where we're at in our project level, well then now it's how shitty are we? Look how bad we are. We're not doing this, we're not doing that. I hate the fucking term Rome wasn't built in a day. But it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm so fucking confused. That's the best way I can put it. Because We get away from Pochettino's style of football and we go with a winning manager. Win now, he always wins, and sack him right before a final. We get another guy, slightly similar in the defensive aspect, high emphasis on defense, counterattacking football. Great. We got top 4, but then that guy fell out and it stopped working. Well, then we try and change. We literally killed it there. We said, all right, burn the fields. The crop's fucked. The yields are shit. Burn the crops. And we started over. And while we are still the same farmers on the same goddamn farm, we are trying something a little bit fucking different in regards to what we're trying to grow here. I still believe in my heart of hearts, in my head of head, in my soul, that Ange is not here to just be some kind of, oh, he's a yes man, he's a wah. Ange doesn't operate like you, therefore he's X, Y, and Z. Wah. That's just particulars. That's just nitpicky. And you could be nitpicky. I don't give a fuck. My brother's real nitpicky with his food. Or at least he used to be. I don't think it's just people who are particular. You're allowed to not like this style of football. But I don't think ignoring other things to support narratives is really fair or constructive to the argument, or fair for the people who are trying to tune into channels and they're like, well, I don't know how I feel. I know I'm angry. And then they hear someone shouting at them how shit everything is. Then they start, well, maybe they're right. Ange is shit. And then that's when you're influencing people in a negative light in a manner in which it is not constructive to our club. In my opinion, I feel like it is setting us back when these fans fucking call for managers out, they get their way, and then we chalk and start over. And I'm fucking tired of it. Fucking tired of it. Tired of chopping, changing. Oh, now this. Oh, now that. Bro, we lost. Hold that fucking L. Our players were losers. Hold the L. I'm holding it. I prop up Romero every fucking week. And he got dunked on. Outside of that moment, I thought he was fantastic. But he got bodied, bitched, and babied all in one fucking 10-second clip. So he's got to hold that. And as a supporter of Romero, I hold that. But I don't think Romero's a shit player now. Oh, he's always been a bozo. Get him the fuck out of my club. You know who I don't fucking want in my club? Arsenal simps. That goes for fans and players. And I'm looking at James Maddison. Because a lot of people prop up James Maddison, defend James Maddison. Oh, they're in his areas. Oh, he's taking the ball from him here. He's doing this and that. Hold Maddison accountable for what he does. Week number 1, tearing down Destiny while propping up Maddison, while Destiny statistically did better going forward and defensively than Maddison. And they didn't even occupy a lot of the same areas. There was a brief overlap in certain areas of their heat map, sure, but that's been a continual process. And Destiny was better than he's been most of the season. He's been pretty bad. But I don't think Destiny's a broken player. Oh, he's shit. Romero's shit. He's always been shit. Blah, blah, wah, wah. Miss me with that. All right? People can fuck up. People can have bad days. People can have good days. But I just think it's a gross overreaction to say, oh, because Romero got bitched, bullied, and dunked on, nah, this is Ange's fault. No, I'm blaming the fuckers who fail every time in the final third. That's why I started the show with this quote up in the fucking air. The manager that is a fucking history-making manager that manages a club in which a lot of people want us to strive for. My job is to take you to the final third. Your job is to finish. Again, I know I like to banter and say, I trust people's opinions who know better about things than me. And I use that in a sense to say, oh, Lionel Messi says Romero's the best defender in the world, therefore he's the best defender in the world. That's more just banter and fun shit talking. But when a fucking manager, ex-player, who's been successful at every level, and, you know, he says something, I put some stock into that. And Ange comes from the same school of philosophy. He gets us into the final third repetitively. And it's our players who let him down. I'm here every week talking about the same shit. Our players are letting him down. But then they blame Ange. Big up Kate. Some of the fan base has been shocking, to say the least. We don't deserve Ange. I agree. Big up everybody in the chat. I know I'm like really, really far behind, but I'm going to go ahead and skip on because, you know, it is what it is. Big up Sava. Says, I get your frustration, Jacob, but how much worse does it need to get? No manager has ever survived at Spurs with form this bad. As I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you're still here or not, but big up Sava, Football Heritage TV. I would say, again, referring back to what I was talking about in regards to the club, we burnt it all down and are trying again because what we did before wasn't working. Now, this is allegedly supposed to work in the framework of what the club has put forth as their stipulations. Now, whether that part is right or wrong, the stipulations, the structure in place that we are going forward with, that is up for debate. And I am 100% blaming the club on. But in operating differently, you can't just do what you've always done. Because what you've always done hasn't fucking worked. So we have to do something different. So when you say no manager has ever survived as Spurs with form this bad, that to me says we're now operating differently. Because the reports coming out today, his job is safe. He's good. We believe in the project still. Which I'm thankful that shit came out because I was getting worried. I mean, 65,000 singing Ange Postecoglou in the first 10 minutes of the game. That got me a little feeling good too. But yeah, if this manager's surviving with this bad of form, that shows that we are trying to do something differently. And I appreciate the fuck out of that. And I hope we continue to try and drive down this road and see where it leads. Because all the other roads that we've gone down just hasn't worked. Just hasn't worked at all.